Greetings, my champions of the light, and welcome to Oathbound, the classic challenge where we must reach level 60 while only doing battle with worthy foes. And by worthy foes, I mean we can only do battle with orange level enemies, creatures at least 3 levels higher than ourselves. And all the while, we must maintain our sacred oath. We must ignore lesser creatures. We can only fight worthy foes. And as a paladin of the holy light, we must never bring dishonor to ourselves. We begin our adventure today in Stormwind City. I open the mailbox and, well, let's just say we receive quite a healthy dose of coin, almost doubling our funds, just from the auctions that were successful from the last episode. And that forest leather belt that I had auctioned for over 5,000 gold, well, yes, it really isn't worth that much. I take this opportunity to purchase some new upgrades. And I find a full set of Defender's gear of the bear, specifically, with both strength and stamina attributes. The full set requires level 18 to wear, and this will surely be quite the upgrade for a paladin like me. I also purchase a thick bronze necklace and some rings. And we can't forget a brand new weapon, my friends, the Shadowhide Maul. And with my new armaments equipped, including these rough bronze shoulders, I am finally ready to venture back into Duskwood. For today, my crusaders, I intend to do battle with undead monstrosities, the archenemies of paladins of the Holy Light. It appears we are going to have to travel to the nearby cemetery to do battle with skeletal warriors and skeletal mages. Both types of skeleton may also drop the skeleton fingers that we need for the other quest. And as I approach the cemetery, what do you know, another paladin of the Holy Light. And what's this, my friends? Is that a briarthorn there? Perhaps it will have some swift thistle. I approach it, but it appears that I was literally half a second too late, and the other paladin beats me to it. I potentially could have lost out on over 2 gold coins, and I'd best be more aware of my surroundings in the future. We begin the battle at the Tranquil Garden Cemetery, doing battle with a skeletal mage, 4 levels higher than me, and although his frostbolt is icy cold, the glorious holy light will warm my soul and allow me to persevere. I then do battle with a level 23 skeletal mage, 5 levels higher than me. But it appears that, well, these casters, they don't do all that much damage. On the other end of the spectrum, while still being orange level enemies, these skeletal warriors are quite a bit lower level. And between battling the skeletal mages and battling the skeletal warriors, I slowly fill out the requirement for this kill quest, and having finally beaten down enough of these undead fiends, it turns out I've retrieved half of the skeletal fingers that I need. And what do you know, is that a grave moss? Although I struggle to pick this brand new herb, perhaps it'll be worth a lot of coin. And for the second time, what do you know? Because here is a briarthorn, and I receive 2 swift thistle from it. Perhaps earlier I had not earned the right to be there, but having bested these fiends in honorable combat, the Holy Light has answered my prayer and granted me a most joyous reward indeed. These swift thistle are the lifeblood of this challenge. Without them, I surely would not have been able to afford this full set of level 18 armaments, which by the way cost me about 9 gold coins, leaving me with just 10 gold coins left. We make our way back to the town of Darkshire, where the commander of the Night's Watch is most pleased that we were able to survive. And I am offered another quest, this time to do battle with skeletal fiends. They're actually called skeletal fiends this time, and skeletal horrors over at the Raven Hill Cemetery. And so we make our way through the rain, following the road towards Raven Hill. The cold rain chills me to the bone. But then, partway along the path, I come across Stitches, doing battle with some of the Night's Watch. It doesn't look like they're going to survive, and suddenly, after finishing with them, he begins to give chase. Quite a terrifying moment for a paladin like me, and it's a good thing he gave up quickly. I doubt I would have survived, and losing these armaments so early would be most disappointing for a paladin like me. Eventually, we make our way to the Raven Hill town, or at least the ruins of it. We come across Jitters, and I take the opportunity to hand over those dusky crab cakes, and surely that will satiate his appetite for quite some time. Then we make our way towards the cemetery, and I notice with dismay that these skeletal horrors and skeletal fiends are level 24 and level 25. In other words, 6 or 7 levels higher than me. I doubt I can complete this quest at this time, but I'm going to try and take on this skeletal horror, a terrifying undead creature 6 levels higher than me. I've only in the past taken on a creature 5 levels higher than me, and so surely I would perish, at least you'd think so. But thanks to my blessing of protection, which grants me a moment of reprieve to drink a mana potion, and then proceed to cast my holy light spell, I am able to come out ahead, and I actually defeat a creature 6 levels higher than me without even using my lay on hands. This has never happened before, and I decide to make this the thumbnail of the video. A glorious success. But it's soon clear to me that just because we bested one of them, there's no way we can guarantee our survival if we venture further into that cemetery. And so I decide to switch to a different task. One of the other ingredients, along with skeletal fingers, is vials of spider venom, and I know for a fact that these green recluse do like to infect me with their venom, as I've had to dispel it quite a few times. And so I engage the green recluse in combat. With an extra level now and my new armaments, doing battle with them, well, it isn't so perilous anymore. And it's not long before I receive my first one. I venture further north and find even more green recluse. Perhaps I should have done battle with them over here in the last episode. But it's clear that these vials of spider venom, they're not so common from even the green recluse. And I soon cull all of the spiders in this location, and I'll have to venture to a different area. Along the way, I come across a most interesting sight. A white direwolf, not like any others I have seen so far. This level 23 rare direwarg named Lupus is quite a perilous foe, causing me to have to retreat into the river nearby. And you'd think that'd be the end of it, but there's quite a problem, you see. While some of these dire wolves are level 21, and so I am able to do battle with them, most of them are level 19 or 20. And when I finally get a chance to do battle with Lupus, every single time another wolf will attack me. Unlike most wolves, his bite attacks, they don't do physical damage, they do shadow damage. Clearly this wolf is unlike any other. Clearly it is an enemy of the light, and it must be put down. I try so many different ways to lure Lupus away, but every single time he is not alone. And I almost give in, but eventually I see an opening. Perhaps if I can lure Lupus this way, there it is. Maybe this is my chance. Lupus himself is 5 levels higher than me, but ultimately I come out ahead once more. But not before using my blessing of protection and realizing that his shadow bite can bypass the shield, causing me to have to utilize lay on hands at the very last second in order to survive. And as loot, I receive the hide of Lupos. Hopefully this is worth quite a bit of coin later. We swim our way down the darkened bank. I really don't want to deal with these wolves. I would beat them down with gladness if they weren't unworthy creatures. But alas, they seem to want to hunt me down until the ends of the earth. But eventually, I do come across more green recluse, and I am able to continue my quest. Then I am chased by a Nightbane Worgen, a level 27 dog. And although he gives up eventually, it turns out he chased me into an area with a chest, and I receive a light bow as a reward. As I do battle with these green recluse, I come to realize that perhaps these aren't the best spiders for me to do battle with. I've killed so many that I've almost leveled to level 19. And finally, after running out of green recluse, with only 3 vials of venom to my name, I decide to try and take on a few Black Widow hatchlings. Perhaps they will have the venom I need. And I do battle with them, but because it is 7 levels higher than me, almost all of my attacks seemingly do like 3 damage. Honestly, if they did normal damage, I'd probably win. And so I try to drag the Black Widow hatchling into the nearby guard. All seems well. I may actually be able to succeed. But as soon as the creature is dead, it turns out I don't get any loot or any experience points. The guard obviously stole it from right under my nose. I try again, utilizing everything in my arsenal this time. And although I get the spider down to about 2/3 of its health, when I do drag it into the guard, once again I don't get any credit at all. And so I decide to give up on this quest for now. And so I make my way back to the tranquil garden cemetery. I'm not ending this video on an L. I do battle with the skeletal mages and the skeletal warriors, and I am able to retrieve the other 5 skeletal fingers that I needed for this collection quest. And just a few moments later, I am able to hit level 19. And with that, my friends, I decide to make my way back to Stormwind City, as I love nothing more than a pile of gold every time I log in for a new adventure. And what do you know, it turns out the hide of Lupos, that giant white warg that I had slain, it's worth potentially 3 gold. Perhaps it was worth the struggle after all. I guess we'll find out. And grave moss, well, it does sell for a decent price. I certainly can't complain. And with that, my friends, I believe we have come to the end of this episode. Perhaps we will venture to a distant land next time. I need more experience points before I return to Duskwood. Please comment below if you have any other ideas. Thank you again for watching, my friends, and always remember, light be with you.